Can feel it coming along a little bit. Summer's getting here.
We're getting there.
A little
Yeah.
toasty.
Yeah, I think we can put away the jackets finally. That was a brutal, very inconsistent winter, but we're beyond it now. And JJ, how are you? You doing good in there?
I'm good. Working here, you never put the jackets away.
Oh, that's a
It's
good point, yeah.
always
Yes,
ice
he's wearing a
cold.
hoodie. I didn't even
Yes.
notice that. That's hilarious.
Well, I want to start out, JJ. What's the text line number?
641-1010.
Okay. So on my bike ride this morning at the town center, 6 a.m., people lined up with their lawn chairs outside the Target.
Okay.
What was going on sale?
It's usually like a Pokemon thing at Target.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I've seen like at Target. That's a very like hot spot for cards.
Okay.
So I'm assuming it's. I mean, I have no idea. So
My
yes,
guess
please
was like,
text
is
us,
there like a state tax? Like sometimes like there'll be
like
a
right
weekend
before the school year
where
starts?
like they like don't
Maybe.
do. I didn't know, but you're
Well,
probably right.
If
It's
you're one of those
probably-
people, good for you.
Yeah. It's, how early did you say it was?
6 a.m.
Wow.
Woo.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
And they had
pretty
there
low.
was like a squad car there, so they were expecting it. So it's
Yeah, so text us at 641-1010 on Lifetime Enclosures if if you know exactly what happened there. A couple things as we set the scene for you. Mark Long's going to join us in our next segment to talk Gators, Jags. We're also going to ask Mark about Kyle Busch. Mark has covered the Daytona races for a really long time as well. So Gators, Jags coming up in our next segment with Mark. Kai Stevens of Jaguars.com. She's going to join us at 5 o'clock. We'll get her thoughts as the Jaguars get ready to get back on the field Tuesday for an OTA. We'll be out there. Certainly looking forward to that. But it does lead to a question that I've got two questions today. So we'll take your calls at the bottom of the hour, but you can also text us whenever you'd like, 641-1010. I want to know what you'd like to see the college football playoff format end up becoming. What are you pulling for? And I'm also going to throw a second pop culture question at you. And it pains me to say this. I grew up with Star Wars. I was in like the perfect. In fact, the first Star Wars movie I saw was Empire Strikes Back. That was the first movie I saw in the theater. I was like 4 years old. So I saw that one, and then I saw the original Star Wars. And then, of course, Return of the Jedi was beyond an extravaganza when I was however old, 7 years old, when it came out. So I'm like, you couldn't love Star Wars as a kid more than I did. I had the action figures. I had the. Not even the action figures, like the Hoth planet and all the stuff that you could have. And
Basically, you paid George Lucas's
exactly
rent for years,
without a doubt. But it's like now it feels like that franchise is just dying. Like they've got this new movie coming out, Mandalorian and Grogu.
no interest.
Yeah, and I thought the TV series was great when it came out in like 2019. But that was
Has it
7
been
years
that
ago.
long?
That's when it debuted.
Wow.
I went back and looked because I was like, boy, this feels like it's lost a lot of momentum. Because there was a time, me and Jackson used to watch it, and we really enjoyed it. And he's, getting ready to turn 16 in a couple months now. So I don't even think it's, really on his radar. But it just feels like that the whole, Star Wars enterprise feels like it's kind of dying. So
oversaturated,
and maybe
man.
that's what it is.
Disney,
There's even people now that go back and talk fondly about those prequels,
which we were supposed to hate.
We did hate.
Yeah.
I grew up I say grew up. I was probably mid-20s when they came out, and they all were considered fairly some level of disappointment.
Yeah.
So anyway, it's
But now those are
we'll
looked
welcome
at
your thoughts.
as
and now they're looked at like Citizen Kane.
Yeah, exactly.
But at the time they were not.
Here's my
But-
thought: Star Wars sucks.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
All right.
never got into it.
no.
Yeah.
So, I was telling Hayes, looking at the movie theater for this weekend, is just not a lot there. Some stuff coming out later this summer. I'll go see Spider-Man at some point. I'll see some other stuff, but not for me.
Yeah. Well, let's get to something that is certainly for you and for every Jaguar fan out there, really any fan of, of great writing, great reporting. So you wrote a column on Nate Borkachure's journey from a walk-on at Nebraska to obviously now being a second-round pick here with the Jaguars, the first pick that they made in this draft. Take us through the process. Obviously, I've got a lot of questions and things that I took out of it. But for you, what were you trying to get done, and how happy were you with the finished product?
Well, JJ, I hope you're ready for an O'Halloran Carlian Journalism 101 session.
Please, I'm taking
I'm
notes.
sure people will want to hear this, but you have to have curiosity in this job. You have to say, hey, you have to go up to a player and say, hey, can I have your dad's phone number? Can I talk to this guy? And that's how it started with Borkature. I said, hey, can I get your dad's number? Sure, no problem. I said, who else is going to help you tell your story? And he gave me 3-4 people. Got a hold of a couple of them. So first step, talk to the dad who said, hey, you should really talk to my other 3 kids. Okay, $2. Son, high school coach. Emailed him at his school. He got back to me. Texas A&M tight end coach, now at Kansas State. Emailed sports information. Guy called me like 10 minutes later. So they're giving me all in all these anecdotes. You just got to collect it, because here's the gist of the story. His story's never been written. He was never quoted in Lincoln or Omaha. What the hell are they doing?
That's amazing.
He was at Texas A&M. Nobody wrote a feature about him. There are other people to obviously showcase. So that was the plus. It was a blank canvas.
Right.
I just, when I was writing it, I assumed nobody knew any of this. And that was the fun part, because I could just go in different directions, and I saved some stuff that could be coming out in the fall. But the curiosity part is, this is not a podium job. And you have to be able, you have to make,
You got to pick up a phone.
you have to pick up the phone. You have to be willing to work on Saturday and Sunday when you're off. It is a painful process. Literally, my legs started hurting. So I had to take a walk. But when you've been laid off twice in your career, my motto is always going to be protect my desk.
Yeah.
That's why I don't mind those coaches who put in all these hours. They're protecting their desk. And so I've always had that mindset for the last 15, 16 years.
So we were talking last night, and Ryan told me that he had 17 pages of quotes. And there was, I thought, obviously some really interesting stuff that you uncovered. The thing that I took away, I wanted to hear you explain the Men of 10, the enforcer, but the thing that I liked, because again, the book on Borkature, what we know of him is that he's more of a blocking tight end than a receiving tight end. His production wasn't particularly strong in college in terms of, catching a lot of passes. But he said something to you that I thought was really interesting. He said, I didn't catch a lot of balls last year at Texas A&M, but I got to run a route tree that was so fun for me to run as a tight end, because there was so many things that it allowed me to do. I thought that was a really good glimpse to the side of, look, this guy can get the job done. He just really didn't get a lot of the opportunities.
Yeah, and that was actually from his Zoom on draft night, when I asked him, hey, why was this a fit for you? And he gave that answer. And, there are other mouths to feed at A&M, but they felt he was underutilized at Nebraska, which Liam Cohn said the same thing. His high school coach said the same thing. So, it was 19 catches last year for A&M. I mean, he was running routes that allowed the Jaguars to project how he could be used. The blocking is going to be there. That's been his MO ever since he was in high school. So, can they get a little bit out of him as a receiver? I think they can, because I trust the head coach to probe those matchups and find stuff for him to do. So, that's how beneficial it was. Got to hit the portal. Hey, I'm a 6th-year guy. It's not working out at Nebraska. I'm starting games, but I'm not catching the football. Let's take a shot. I'm sure he got paid well at A&M. Alabama called him. He took a visit to Oklahoma. But this was, it basically made him a 2nd-round pick. And the other thing about the story is that was the only quote I had from him. I didn't need him. I'll save him for later. So there's some stuff I saved that I want to talk to him about his college career, but I let his people tell the story.
And Texas A&M was really thrilled to get him. Yeah. That was not like I guess we'll take this kid from Nebraska. I mean, you explain it really well in the story, but I mean, it was he became a priority for them very quickly.
Yeah. And, he knew the tight ends coach because Christian Ellsworth was at Nebraska. So as soon as he hit the portal, Borkature called him, says, hey, is there any interest? Ellsworth took the tape to Colin Klein, who's now the head coach at K-State. Mike Elko said, hey, not a lot of production. Here's a guy you consider. He said, didn't take long, saying, hey, this is a guy we need. The Men of the 10, that's an A&M metric that they chart in practice. Basically, is you get a credit if you're a guy downfield making a block to help your teammate get extra yardage. 15 fall practices. He had 40.
Wow.
So they're not handing these out like the pieces of licorice in fall camp.
Right.
So I think that's the thing for Jaguar fans is his impact is going to be far beyond when he catches passes. Bottom line, was it a reach at 56? Probably, but there also was a run on tight ends after that. So it shows you they liked him more than they liked any of the other tight ends.
Well, the other cool part about the story is Ryan gets everyone's perspective of draft night. And one of the interesting insights that you had in the column was the agent told his family, it's happening tonight in all likelihood. They weren't sure, but the agent believed he wasn't getting out of the third round.
Yeah, and Nate's dad was like, they told me that. I was going to believe it when I saw it because he goes, we're looking at all mock drafts. We're looking at all those consensus boards. He goes, it was like Saturday. He goes, I'm glad we got together for Friday night, but obviously the agent had to. I mean, it's a good agent because his intel was right, and not a lot of contact with the Jags. But I think what we all thought in that room that night was as soon as the first two went, which were Stowers and Borkature, there was going to be a run. And there was.
Yeah, and I do want to say this. Again, you can read this at Jacksonville.com. Ryan's tweeted out at Ryan O'Halloran. You don't see stories like this all that often anymore, really, I think in media across the landscape. I'm not just saying here, but just in general, you don't see these are the kind of stories. Like as I was reading it, there was a tinge of nostalgia to it because this is what made me want to get in this business, was reading stories like this when I was a kid. And anyway, it was an outstanding column. Really learned a lot about him. And again, if you're a Jaguar fan, you owe it to yourself to go read it.
Thank you. Hopefully there'll be more of those coming up. We need cooperation from the football team in town, and they usually do play ball with me, but we got some stuff that I think will be similar to that over the next couple months.
Yeah, it was great stuff. When we come back, we'll stay on Jags, but also want to talk some Gators and get Mark Long's thoughts about Kyle Busch, the tragic loss that NASCAR suffered yesterday. But Mark Long joins us next. You are listening to The Lead on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
This is The Lead from the Harrell and Harrell studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
Because life is a sport. Let the games begin! That's why we are Jacksonville Sports Radio. 1010XL.
Frank Frangie here. These days, it's hard to know which companies to trust. But when it comes to banking, I trust South State Bank. South State truly values its customers, and they work hard to create meaningful, lasting relationships. I love going into my local branch. I see the same smiling faces I've seen for years. South State is the largest bank headquartered in Florida, so they're able to offer all the banking services you need. You can trust South State Bank. Banking forward. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Hey, it's Carline here for Atlantic Infinity. I am loving my new QX60. Right now, you can lease one or lock in just 1.9% financing for 60 months. And every new Infinity comes with the Atlantic Infinity Promise. That's over $7,000 in added value. That's one of many reasons why I bought mine there. It was a great experience. I went to the service department about a week ago for my first oil change. Incredible facility, incredible service. Do what I did. Make your next ride an Infinity from Atlantic Infinity. The 2027 QX65s will be in soon. Visit AtlanticInfinity.com or visit the showroom near Atlantic in St. John's Bluff.
What if your next fun day out costs you $70 to play all day? That's exactly what you get at the Battalion Airsoft Arena, the only indoor airsoft battlefield in Jax. Skip the same old boring entertainment choices and step into real action with your crew. Perfect for birthdays, company team building, graduation parties, or just epic weekend fun. No experience, no problem. The Battalion package includes everything: gun, mask, and ammo with unlimited play. So lock in your mission now at BattalionAirsoftArena.com.
Need protection? Call Craig and Christine Kaprosky at Goosehead Insurance. The Kaproskys are a husband-wife team committed to finding you the right coverage at the right price in just a few short minutes. For home, auto, flood, or specialty insurance, Craig and Christine Kaprosky are the answer. Craig.Kaprosky at Goosehead.com.
Strong in the classroom, gifted on the field.
1010XL and Southeast Orthopedic Specialists celebrate scholar athletes. Wednesday afternoons on The Frangie Show. Activated by
The Plumbers and Pipe Fitters Local Union 234.
This Sunday, in the first season of women's professional soccer in the River City, Sporting Jacks hosts its first ever playoff game. Sunday at 5 p.m. at Hodges Stadium, Sporting Jacks takes on Carolina Ascent in the Gainbridge Super League semifinal. And to kick off this historic night, $1 beers and $1 hot dogs during the first half. Come stand behind your local pro soccer club and help push Sporting Jacks to victory. Call 904-863-KICK or visit sportingjacks.com for tickets. Sporting Jacks, pro soccer, pro Jacks.
Hi, I'm Mac with Baker Glass. If you've got fogged up windows, let me help. We'll replace them with clear, insulated units that brighten up your home. People say we're fast, friendly, and reliable. Just check out our Google reviews. Call me today. Baker Glass. No one treats you better.
Jumbo Shrimp Baseball is home this weekend at VyStar Ballpark. Join us tonight for a special UF Health Hat giveaway for EMS Appreciation Night with a Honey Dripper Sunshade giveaway from Arlington Toyota and VyStar on Saturday and CSX Military Appreciation on Sunday with Catch on the Field and free face painting before the game on Baptist Health Sunday Family Fun Day at 6:35.
Hey, Matt Hayes here, and wow, time flies by. Last year feels like 2024. 10 weeks ago feels like yesterday. That's how quick Reclaim by Awaken 180 is and feels. 10 weeks to do what took you 5 years, 10 years to pile up with that weight. 40 pounds gone in 10 weeks? That's what I did. That's what Awaken 180 Reclaim was built for. And I'm telling you, when that kind of weight comes off, life starts feeling different fast. Your clothes fit differently. You move differently. You carry yourself differently. Even walking into a room feels different when you're not thinking about your weight before anything else. That's why Reclaim by Awaken 180 makes so much sense to me. It gives you a simple 10-week plan with a real beginning, a real end, and a real finish line. Not someday, not I'll figure out, 10 weeks, 12 weeks, 20 weeks from now. It's 10 weeks to finally go after it and achieve the best part, keeping it off with free support for life. I did it. Hacker Amber and Greg did it. Awaken 180 works. Awaken180weightloss.com.
Welcome to Key Buick GMC, proudly family-owned and operated since 1943. Come see why they're North Florida's new and pre-owned truck center, conveniently located on Southside and JTB, just minutes from the St. John's Town Center. At Key Buick GMC, every new vehicle comes with our lifetime powertrain warranty. Key Buick GMC, we are professional grade. Online at keybuickgmc.com. Lifetime powertrain warranty covers engine, transmission, drivetrain only. Exclusions apply. See dealer for details.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch.
All right, welcome back to The Lead. Hayes Carline here with Ryan O'Halloran and JJ LaSelva. We are efforting to have Mark Long. We should have him momentarily.
He whines last week about not being the first guest.
I know.
And we put him in the first guest slot today.
What.
And he doesn't answer his phone.
No, pleasing the guy. Maybe he's on the phone with Falky.
I was going to use that punchline, but
oh, you got to be fast around here.
Mark, tell Tom Golden it can wait. You're going on the radio.
If you've got a good one, don't hold it back. You got to get that one out as soon as possible. But yeah, I'm sure Mark will join us momentarily. Lots of stuff that we want to get into. What'd you make of the Kyle Busch? Man, I'm not a NASCAR guy at all, but even I know Kyle Busch. Just an unbelievable loss for the sport.
Yeah, and I wrote a little bit of my column for tomorrow on that. I think it's one of the darkest days in NASCAR history for an off-track story. This was a guy still driving, 41 years old. He embraced the villain role, but now he was becoming more of a sage, where fans cheered him and say, "Hey, got to credit this guy's career." Probably the best wheelman of this generation. I mean, like I wrote tomorrow, if it had 4 tires and a steering wheel, he was going to drive it. He was going to win at it. The Cup Series championship contention, those days were over. He probably would admit that. He had won in 3 years. But I think the disappointing part about this is he was going to be on the scene for another 30 years. His kid's 11 years old and already driving.
And apparently great.
Yeah. So
from the story I read, is that he's got, honestly, like a lot of promise.
Yeah. So Richard Childress Racing came out this afternoon and say, okay, we're switching this car to a 33. We're going to save the 8 for Brexton Busch.
Oh, wow.
I mean,
How
he's
cool
11.
Is that? That's amazing.
So that was a touching story today. But, we'll be interested to see what comes of this. People are pointing to the Watkins Glen thing where he says, I'm going to need a shot. Well, he drove last week. He said he had a sinus infection. This kind of thing where he's coughing up blood, according to 911, you're thinking of blood clot, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, it puts a pall on one of their tentpole weekends, the Coke 600 in Charlotte.
Yeah, without a doubt. I wanted to get your thoughts also. Let's switching it to college basketball. Ruben Chinelu back. What's your take on what the Gators basketball team can be?
Well, I don't throw the word miracle around that much, but it's one of those things. If you would have told me the night of the Iowa game that all these guys would be coming back and they would add a guy like Aberdeen, most likely I would have said you're crazy. But they pulled it off. I mean, this is a last dance. I mean, they're not going to, everybody says, well, they'll just have a $25 million payroll the following year. No. I bet a lot of these boosters are saying, we're paying the freight to go get another national title. That's my take. Todd Golden, I think, will end up in the NBA sooner rather than later. And, but yeah, getting Chinelu back allows them to work in some of those new guys into the rotation, not putting pressure on them to be a starting five. But he sort of pulls everything together, lets Hauck and Condon not have to sort of man the paint. But, I mean, preseason number one, I think, with a bullet and favored in every game. I think the challenge for Golden is going to be how to keep some of these guys motivated and also how to stretch out the minutes. You remember last year in that non-league season, he tried to find a bench. He only trusted 2 guys. Maybe if you include Hallott and 3 guys. It just never came together. I'd be interested to see how he treats the non-league season if they just are leading by so much, pull those guys out, get his second unit ready for league play.
Do you think it's fair for it to be national title or bust?
I think so, and I think they should embrace that. They already have one in their pocket, so they're,
kind of playing with house money.
And they know this is their last year. I think this is a group that's mature enough to say, hey, we have no problem with that, and they know the target's going to be on their back no matter what, even if only a couple of those guys came back. So Hauck is the one. He was the key one. I mean, SEC Player of the Year, right? Was he? First team.
He was first team.
First team.
Acuff, I think, got Player of the Year.
So once that schedule comes together, you see the first part of it coming. I like that they're opening against Miami. That's a good team, and then Notre Dame, Las Vegas. To me, it's this is in league play when you're playing Mississippi State on a Tuesday night in Starkville. What's the spread? Minus 22.5. Yeah. Just, okay, how do you get these guys ready for March?
Yeah, some of those are going to be outlandishly huge, obviously. Jags OTA Tuesday. Give us a couple things that you'll be paying attention to as soon as you get out there.
Bullet points would be who's out there and participating, and also
it's like Travis Hunter's not expected to really do anything yet, right?
Yeah, I mean, they're using the term limited. Well, that carries a lot of different connotations. I mean, so that's a storyline. Is he doing side field work? And also, okay, is Walker Little at left tackle for Van Lannen? And if he's not, who is? Of the returning players, the guys I listed in tomorrow's paper are Caleb Ransaw. I've never seen the kid practice before. Now they think he may be a starting safety. Walker Little, how much time did they give him at guard and tackle? Milam, where do they work him? Brian Thomas, has he created any chemistry with Trevor Lawrence? And Ventrell Miller, does he get that first? Does he get the first team snap at linebacker and base defense? I would say yes, but there's an opportunity for some of these guys to really put a stranglehold on their role over the next month.
Yeah, no doubt about it. All right, when we come back on the lead, we're going to stay on the Jaguars. You are listening to 1010XL 92.5 FM.
The Lead from the Harrell and Harrell studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
Streaming live from the XL Digital Studios. Polished by Harbor Dental Care, the locally owned smile restoration experts.
Hey friends, Jason Parker here with Performance Painting. Have you ever stored a gallon of leftover paint, opened the can years later, and it's rusty, crusty, and unusable? Next time, secure the lid tightly to ensure no leaks and store the can upside down. Oxygen can't get to it, therefore no rust and no crust. If you'd like more tips or have a question about a project, we'd love to help. Go to performance-painting.com. Performance Painting. Repair, protect, preserve.
Performance Painting.
Welcome to Key Buick GMC, proudly family owned and operated since 1943. Come see why they're North Florida's new and pre-owned truck center, conveniently located on Southside and JTB, just minutes from the St. John's Town Center. At Key Buick GMC, every new vehicle comes with our lifetime powertrain warranty. Key Buick GMC, we are professional grade. Online at keybuickgmc.com. Lifetime powertrain warranty covers engine, transmission, drivetrain only. Exclusions apply. See dealer for details.
This is Hayes Carlyon for Harold & Harold. After an accident, everything can feel chaotic and stressful. You're dealing with insurance calls, medical appointments, car repairs, and for most people, it's stressful and unfamiliar territory. That's where Harold & Harold comes in. Their team knows how overwhelming this time can be, and they guide you through every step of the process so you're never left wondering what comes next. If you've been injured and need someone in your corner, call Harold & Harold at 251-1111.
Your AC's broke, it ain't no joke. Call Florida Home AC. Florida Home AC. Florida Home AC. Florida Home AC. FloridaHomeAC.com.
At Orthopedic Specialists of Jacksonville, care starts with listening, one-on-one consultations, clear answers, and a plan built around you. Our orthopedic surgeons, sports medicine physicians, and rehabilitation specialists work together to treat injuries, manage chronic pain, and restore strength and mobility. From your first check-in to your personalized treatment plan, everything is designed to help you move forward with confidence. Orthopedic Specialists of Jacksonville, expert care, improving lives.
Living on Amelia Island, having fun in Fernandina Beach? No matter what brings you to the fun, cozy town, make sure you check out the tap room at Mocama Beer Company. With a full flight of craft creations, from the Cosmico IPA to the Motor, the perfect Pilsners and lagers, matching memories and some Mocama magic is what it's all about. Mocama Beer Company in Fernandina Beach, near the big water where the sun is born. And look for more Mocama craft at your local Total Wine or ABC Liquors.
You'll always feel good when you send someone a Kuhn Flowers floral or plant arrangement. This is Shay J with 1010XL, and no matter what the reason, Kuhn Flowers has always come through for me. Order online at kuhnflowers.com.
Hey gang, Prosser here. Have you been thinking about selling your home and you haven't pulled the trigger? Let me tell you about Chad and Sandy and the experts that will help you make that decision. Mortgage rates have dropped. They're expected to move lower. Home sales momentum is building, so now's the time to get your home ready to maximize your sales price. It's time to call Chad and Sandy, the proven experts to sell your home. Need to sell now, need to sell fast, need max price. Check, check, check. Chad and Sandy have the science behind it. Using their proprietary Market Max system, Chad and Sandy guarantee your home sold at an agreed-upon price and deadline, or they will buy it. Jonathan writes from Mount Pleasant. The only thing standing between me and my dream of hitting the road in my RV was selling my Mount Pleasant home. After hearing Chad and Sandy on the radio, I gave them a call. The results were unreal. In just 3 days, I had multiple offers at full asking price. So can you. Call the local experts I trust and recommend. Call Chad and Sandy, 414-6200 or chadandsandy.com.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah.
Your news right now. It's Hayes' headlines, presented by Harold & Harold.
We certainly appreciate our friends at Harold & Harold. Give them a call at 251-1111. Ryan, let's start with the Jaguars. I think this period of time, these next few weeks, really important for Danny Strigow and BJ Green. How do you see the depth of that edge? They haven't signed anybody, so assuming they don't, boy, this is a huge opportunity for those two young guys because you got to think they're ahead of the mid-round and late-round rookies.
Yeah, if I had to come up with a word to describe their edge depth after the two starters, it'd be unproven. Strigow showed some glimpses last year, had like at least two injuries that sort of, stunted his progress. BJ Green is an undersized guy. He's a pass rusher first. I'm not sure how well he could play the run on any consistent basis, and then you have, the two picks. So I still think, just because they have a roster spot open, I don't think they're holding it for anybody, but I still think that should be a priority. It's up to these guys during these practices, voluntary and mandatory, to show like they're athletic. They've improved their speed, their technique. You're not hitting anybody, but you can show you're getting around the edge a little bit and doing the tackling dummies and stuff. So I think it is a big month for those two guys.
Let's get to around the NFL. Giants defensive tackle and former Jaguar Roy Robertson Harris tore his Achilles in an OTA workout and will miss the season. This goes in conjunction with the Giants still are saying really some cryptic things about Malik Neighbors and that knee as he tries to, come back from a torn ACL and some other things.
Yeah, Robinson Harris will start with him. I mean, they traded Dexter Lawrence. They didn't think Roy was the same kind of player, but he was a worker bee. They signed him to a 2-year, $11 million contract. So that's a loss. And then with Neighbors, I mean, John Harbaugh came out basically said, week 1 is in doubt. I mean, to me, that is not good news.
Not good.
And that is a playing surface up there that stinks. It's concrete, basically. So, the Giants have gotten buzz because of the coach. I think they're going to be terrible this year. They're a rebuilding team. But if you don't have your best receiver, Jackson Dart will be limited.
And it does make you wonder, again, the Jaguars do play the Giants not until, November 22nd, week 11. But if Neighbors isn't able to get back or rushes back, has another setback, you just don't know. Mm-hmm. I actually think the Giants might be good this year, but I'm basing a lot of that on John Harbaugh. And I thought Dart showed some good things. But look, if they, to your point, if you're decimated defensive tackle, if your standout young receiver is going to be limited or out all year, it starts to add up pretty quick.
Yeah, and I think their division will be improved. Dallas can't be any worse on defense. I think they'll be better. Washington will be a little better, and Philadelphia will be tough. So, I think the Giants this is not going to be a 1-year turnaround.
Deshaun Watson says he doesn't have any animosity towards the Browns. Boy, that's nice of him. What a guy. What a guy.
How could he possibly say that?
How did that ever?
What was the question?
I think it was basically that. Like, how would you describe your tenure so far in Cleveland, which has obviously been the worst trade in league history? And
they paid me in 20s one time. That really ticked me off.
Right. I mean, he's got a fully guaranteed contract that's like $250 million. So I'm glad that there isn't any, bridges that have been burned there with Deshaun Watson.
Maybe I'll regret this statement, but other than Miami, can you draw it up any better for the Jaguars in week 1?
No.
To have this misfit outfit coming into town?
Yeah, you're right. Of all the teams on their schedule, because even like Tennessee, it's a division game. There's some intensity.
They
to
know
that.
who their quarterback's going to be.
Yeah. But yeah, with Cleveland, I would agree.
Listen, you never see a point spread that big before the season.
Has it gone up? I saw it was
like
at 7,
7.5.
Yeah, I was curious if it had even jumped,
That's
which
like
is
college
rare.
football spread.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Matthew Stafford gets a 1-year, $55 million extension from the Rams. What an unbelievable career he has put together. I mean, he's one of the rare athletes where the back nine of his career has been better, I'd say, than the front nine.
Yeah, this will carry him over $400 million in career earnings. And, Stafford could have played in Detroit his whole career, maybe have made a conference title game, but I mean, he was proactive that offseason before the 21 season, I believe it was, and said, hey, I can't see it happening here in Detroit. Engineered the trade to the Rams. And, I remember last offseason, they were letting him take visits. He visited the Giants. They were willing to give up on him. And he came back, wins MVP, parlays that into now. I mean, by the time this contract expires, he'll be a 19-year player. But I think he's a Hall of Famer.
Let's get to the NBA. The Knicks take a 2-0 lead on the Cavs with a 109-93 romp. Every New York starter scored at least 14 points. Jalen Brunson scored 19 points, had 14 assists as well. The Knicks haven't reached the NBA Finals since 1999, but have now won 9 consecutive playoff games.
Yeah, another great game for James Harden, who had a team worst minus 22. Oof. I mean, but they have no choice but to play him. I think Cleveland will get one of these next 2, and the Knicks will come back and do the gentleman's sweep in 5 games, and then watch Oklahoma and San Antonio just bludgeon themselves to exhaustion.
Game 3 tonight in the West, Thunder at Spurs at 8:30 on NBC. The Spurs are a 1.5-point favorite. Who do you guys like tonight?
I'll go with the Spurs because I think there's going to be a course correction with the officiating.
Yeah.
The Oklahoma City got away with everything on Wembanyama in Game 2. That tape has been shown, and so I think San Antonio in front of their home crowd will win tonight.
Yeah, like you said, the first 10 minutes of this game is going to tell what's going to happen the rest of the game with the officiating. Like, Hartenstein was basically just grabbing him, doing whatever he wanted with him. Which great game plan. I mean, they're not going to call a foul on every single possession, but we'll see. If they call a little ticky-tack stuff, I expect the Spurs to win this game.
Let's get to the PGA Tour, the Byron Nelson. Jordan Spieth with a 62 today to get to 12 under. He was one shot back of Sanjay M last I checked. Koepka and Scheffler were outside the top 20, but obviously a lot of time. And they started, I mean, this is a course that everybody's like taking apart, but Koepka and Scheffler, neither one of them had done much in their first like 6 to 8 holes. So something to monitor there. But Jordan Spieth, that'd be interesting if he was able to get
what it shows you, the morning is better there on that course, but the wind is probably picking up in the afternoon. And so if you're Koepka and Scheffler, you just stay in the top 20 and but I want to see Koepka in contention. And Scheffler's won that tournament last year.
Yeah, that's right. Let's get to Major League Baseball. The Braves beat the Marlins 9-3 to take 3 of 4 in the series. The series opened with the Marlins winning 12-0. Atlanta hosts Washington tonight at 7:15. But JJ, you gotta like what you're seeing out of your Braves.
Yeah, when you lose 12-0 in the first game, but still outscore them 26-20 in the series, you did some. I was in panic mode after that loss, and they lost Baldwin the same day. Philly just came off a 4-game win streak. Now things are right in the world once again. It looks like the Braves probably going to get rained out tonight.
Panic mode.
Yes, we were only up 7 games, Ryan.
It is a marathon,
panic over
not a
here.
sprint.
Yeah, I know.
So at this, I mean, would you do anything at the deadline?
Oh, absolutely. So the Braves have the oldest team in baseball, which a lot of people don't know that. We might not even have a 2027 season. So I could see them going all in for this, like knowing that. Maybe we'll see. I expect him to be on the trading block, but if he costs too much, the Braves are really cheap. So I don't think that one will happen. But when it comes to, maybe an outfield piece and a couple arms in the bullpen, the Braves are going to go for it.
You forgot a headline. I should have sent this to you.
Okay.
Formula One is in Montreal this weekend.
Yeah.
I tried to look up the Canadiens Hurricanes coverage in the Montreal Gazette. Instead, the most read story was strippers threatening to strike this weekend.
Why?
They flock to the F1 race.
Financials, unfair working conditions. You work in a brothel.
How about that?
What do you expect?
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you bringing that to
I had
our
to get that in the show.
Yeah. It's a smaller story, but I know it's one you've been paying attention to. Let's get it to
definitely pay attention.
College baseball. A lot of rain delays right now. So UNF and Florida Gulf Coast started at 10 a.m. They are in a scoreless rain delay in the 5th. So they must have been in this delay must be going on 5-6 hours now. Florida State and Pitt, I think, is in a rain delay. That game started at 3.
Yeah.
Tomorrow, the Gators in Georgia play at 1. So we'll try and keep you updated on college baseball if these games get back underway. But right now, it just seems like weather really playing havoc with these college baseball tournaments.
Well, and they have to use an aluminum bat, so they can't play through the lightning.
You don't like that? They should play in the lightning.
Suck it up.
You're pro lightning.
Use wood bats.
I love that take.
Yeah. I'm pro electrocution on the field. We'll start making the T-shirts.
The rule should be if there's lightning in the area, you switch the wood bats.
All right. I like it. We'll get you out with today's musical nugget. Smashing Pumpkins have announced a concert at the Arena on October 17th.
Nice.
The band is celebrating, the 30-year anniversary of its famed double album, Melancholy and the Infinite Sadness. Smashing Pumpkins will play 2 distinct sets that night, one based solely around the album and another of their other hits. This is Tonight.
Yeah. Was that like a double album?
It was. It was fantastic.
Yeah.
I mean, their best album is Siamese Dream, the one that they had before this, in my opinion. That's got like Cherub Rock, Disarm, Today, Rocket. But Melancholy and the Infinite Sadness, for it being a double album, it doesn't have a lot of songs that you just, flip to the next one.
Breaking news, JJ. Mark Long is alive.
Oh, good.
Okay, good. I saw our phones light up, but you asked me about the Braves, so we could do them next segment.
We'll get to Mark coming up at 5:15. But when we come back on the lead, we want to hear from you. We're gonna kind of lead you down 2 paths today. If you want to talk sports, that's fine. We always love that. What would you like to see in the new version of the college football playoff, or would you like to see it stay at 12 or even go back to 4? What do you want to see out of that playoff? And This is the one that's really grabbing people. Is Star Wars dying as a franchise? We've already gotten some great responses. We'll look forward to sharing those with you on the other side. You're listening to The Lead on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
You're listening to The Lead from the Harold and Harold studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
Believe in the unbelievable.
Unbelievable!
1010XL.
I can't believe it! I can't believe it!
Where hearing is believing.
Unbelievable! Beards Diamonds is where Jacksonville shops for engagement rings and fine diamond jewelry. And now, luxury pre-owned Rolex watches too. Hicken here for my friends at Beards Diamonds in the St. John's Town Center. They stand out in a big way. They're local. The owners, the Lupos, they're part of our community for more than 40 years. Money spent at Beards, it doesn't go to Wall Street. It stays right here. And here's the best part. You don't compromise on anything. Beards has the best selection of diamonds in Northeast Florida, hand down. Beards doesn't have to jack up prices to meet a corporate bottom line. Beards doesn't have commissioned salespeople. They have trusted advisors. Beards has all the top names in bridal jewelry like Decoria and Veragio. Beards guarantees to give you a better price, a better value, period. Listen, a lot of those chain jewelry stores are all owned by the same mega conglomerate. Different names, but they're all the same owner. Not Beards. They're your locally owned alternative. Beholden to the people of Jacksonville. Us, not Wall Street. For diamonds, bands, rings, and even luxury pre-owned Rolex. Shop local. Shop Beards. Looking for a real career with great pay and full benefits? Prosser here for Julington Creek Pest Control. As a growing, family-owned company that cares about its employees, they're hiring lawn technicians in the Jacksonville area. No experience required. This is a salaried position with top industry pay. Full benefits, a 401k match, and paid training. Apply today at JulingtonCreekPestControl.com. Julington Creek Pest Control. Our family serving yours since 1984.
Equal opportunity employer.
Share your voice anytime on the 1010XL text line.
Are you serious? Installed by Lifetime Flooring.
I gotta say, you're totally blowing my mind right now.
If you can't call or email, text us. 641-1010.
Hicken here. See clearly with the Eye Associates and trusted optometrists Zachary Boskool and Alice LaFlamme. From comprehensive eye exams, dry eye care, glaucoma management, diabetic eye care, and more, Dr. Boskool and Dr. LaFlamme are dedicated to protecting your vision. Immediate availability at all 5 Jacksonville locations. Schedule today with Dr. Boskool and Dr. LaFlamme by calling the Eye Associates, formerly Bowden Associates, Schneider Eye and Wellness Center, and Janet Betchkel, MD at 296-0098.
Hey, Gate fans, power up your meal with an electrifying deal. My Gate Rewards members can snag a Monster Energy for just $1 when you buy any made-to-order entree. Breakfast bowl or pizza, it's your choice. Just add a Monster and boost your day. See store for details.
Hey folks, Mike Dempsey here for Dandy Foods, a Jacksonville family business for nearly 70 years. Heck, I've been talking about them for over a decade. The Thompson family secret, Dandy is never frozen. Always fresh baked bread with quality meats and cheeses. No dry, crumbly subs here, only soft and tasty deliciousness. When I see that logo with the little guy with the cane on the label, it tells me I'm getting a trusted brand and a quality sandwich. So do what I do, stop in at a Circle K and make yours a Dandy today.
Are knee problems keeping you from doing the things you love? Stop by Riddle Wellness for a free in-office workshop May 27th at 11 a.m. in Ponte Vedra. Discover natural, non-surgical options that may help relieve knee pain and improve mobility, including regenerative treatments and decompression therapy. Get back to living with less pain. Space is limited. Call 395-5598 now to RSVP. Riddle Wellness in Ponte Vedra Beach, 395-5598. Be there May 27th.
Looking for ways to save on your JEA bill? We're on it. When it comes to your utilities, the less you use, the more you can save. That's why JEA offers ways to help you manage your usage and avoid higher than expected bills. Use our online tools and alerts to monitor your usage throughout the month. Schedule a free irrigation or energy efficiency assessment and get personalized tips to save. And with JEA rebates, you can save when upgrading to more efficient equipment. Find more ways to save at JEA.com.
For lost or broken keys or nearly any make and model of vehicle, call 722-1111 for
Instant Keys. Instant Keys. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still, present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch.
You can beat the heat if you beat. It's your turn to talk. Call or text us at 641-1010. We hear from you now on The Lead.
Guess it must be true.
Welcome back to The Lead on 1010XL. Hayes Carline here with Ryan O'Halloran and JJ LaSelva. We do want to hear from you. We're going to start an experiment. We're going to take calls, take texts every show that we do. But we're going to give you a sports topic and we're going to give you a pop culture topic. And whichever one wins is totally fine with us. So the two today were, what do you want to see the college football playoff become? Which it doesn't appear like anyone really cares about. The other question was, is Star Wars as a franchise dying? Which we've received a ton of feedback on. And we want to go to the phone line first. Again, you can call us at 641-1010. You can also text us. But let's start, JJ, by bringing in Mr. Hunt. Hunt, how you doing, man?
Hey, doing well. How about you guys?
We're doing great. So you saw The Mandalorian and Grogu last night, and Hunt's I know Hunt. Hunt is a big Star Wars fan. So Hunt, give us your review. What'd you think? And are you worried about where the franchise is headed?
I was not a fan. That's the short version. I've been worried about where Star Wars has been going for a little bit now. It's just not special anymore to me, unfortunately. Just didn't even really feel like a movie last night, just kind of a collection of different action scenes. No characters or like arcs or really anything interesting to say, which is a shame because I've been a fan whole life. First one I ever saw was Revenge of the Sith back in 2005. So it's a real shame. Wish it was in a better place for sure.
Yeah, I agree. And again, I remember when The Mandalorian came out on Disney Plus in 2019. We talked about it watching like a Gators game, and it was magnificent. But boy, it seems like this is a movie that they should have done 3 or 4 years ago if they wanted to take advantage of that.
Completely agree, because the show peaked with season 2, in my opinion, back in 2020. If they'd made a movie kind of right after that, totally different story. I think there would have been a lot more buzz because there's just not really any right now, which is real shame for Star Wars. Hate that it's got to this place.
Yeah.
Comicbook.com. Star Wars officially divides critics and audiences on Rotten Tomatoes. That means you got a problem.
That means you got a problem. Hunt, we really appreciate it, man. Say hey to your dad for me.
I'll do that. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Yeah, appreciate Hunt giving us a call. I want to. You can tweet us as well at Ryan O'Halloran. You can tweet me at Hayes Carline. Our buddy Duval Doom says, you may have hated the prequels, Hayes Carline, but I didn't. I assure you, it was I'm a far bigger Star Wars fan than you were. And then he kind of makes a comment about you not liking it either. But somebody on the text line had a great line. Ryan, in our first segment, gave us his Star Wars opinion by basically saying that it sucks. And he was
Quote,
like,
unquote.
in the text line, I'm sorry, I don't have it. I don't have his specific text in front of me right now, but it basically was like, this brings me back to Ryan's my favorite O'Halloran quote ever: "Have fun sucking."
Yeah, that's it's an all-time beauty. I think I was on Jaguars today, and I was in a war with the Jaguars as usual during that early season when a certain old man came back to try and run a cutthroat organization.
This is from 910. He says Star Wars died when they were like, "Hey, we're bringing Palpatine back, even though he died a long ass time ago." That is, of course, the Emperor.
Yeah.
If you're not familiar.
My moment when I almost left. See, I'm like the previous texter who said that he liked the prequels. I was like raised as a prequel kid. That was my age group. They re-released the movies, the original 3. I don't know if you remember that. Like, they re-released the original 3 in theaters like 2 weeks at a time leading up to the prequels.
With, like, a bonus scene thrown in.
And my dad took me and my brothers to those movies. And so that was the first time I saw Star Wars before the prequels. I'll say this about the prequels. Episode 3 kicks ass, okay? I loved Episode 3. Out of all the prequels, that one still holds up. There's great fight scenes. It's really cool. But the rest... yeah, I could do without. But that scene, I think it was the 8th movie, where Leia dies and she's in space, but then she just like comes back to life and shoots herself back over to a ship. I almost threw my popcorn away and just left the movie theater like
So
that. Disney has been killing.
643 says, tell Hayes nice Fletch reference.
Yes.
Which one was that?
It was a smaller story, but I know you've been following it. And the movie, it's when the police captain is who's corrupt, is like basically threatening him in his office, and he's like, "Look, man, your beach. I'm working on this other story of off-track betting in the Himalayas." So smaller story, but I know you've been following it. It's the same scene where he's like, "Hey, that's you and Tommy Lasorda." Yeah. And he punches the wall, punches the picture.
That's what's great about Fletch is there's so many one-liners in there that you can make a reference and I have no freaking idea.
Yeah, absolutely. This is from 512. Gentlemen, love you guys. 16-team playoffs, college playoff into discussion. So certainly agree with you. That's where I hope it lands is 16. There's no chance it's going to. It seems like it's going to be stay where it is or go to 24. He also weighs in on Star Wars. Says, semi-good, go to Disney World, Hollywood Studios, safe Memorial Day weekend. That is from Trey. So we certainly appreciate Trey in Lake City. Yeah, I took Jackson there, and we did like the build the lightsaber thing. It was cool. I don't know. That was several years ago. It just feels like, I think Hunt hit the nail on the head. Like, I just think there's an oversaturation, and I know some fans really liked Andor. I've never seen it, but I know that I've got friends that
it's good.
But I've heard really good things about it. But then it's like, is it big enough? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's obviously a very good product. Everybody that's seen it has liked it, but it also doesn't seem like it was a big enough idea to capture the public like Star Wars normally does.
Yeah. Oh, not like the movies. Yeah. Definitely not.
352. I can't repeat that line. Sorry.
Using the whole fist, Doc. That's what he's talking about from Fletch. He gets anyway. Have you ever seen Fletch?
It's been a while.
Oh, you gotta.
It still holds up. It's so funny. It's
the
all
16-team playoff thing. I mean, obviously it's going to 24. These commissioners are so pathetic. They just have folded like cheap tents, and just because they want an 8-4, NC State team to get in the field. And to me, like Sankey's the only holdout left. He's obviously making maneuvers behind the scenes to make sure, hey, we're giving up a $50 million title game. How are we going to get some of that back?
Yeah, without a doubt. JJ, do we have another caller? I'm seeing.
Yeah, we could take Mac.
Okay,
he wants
Mac.
to congratulate you guys on the new show.
Oh, sweet. What's up, Mac?
Yeah, fellas, I hear you on which one you newspaper guy?
That's me, Ryan.
Ryan O'Halloran. All right, but I want to congratulate y'all. Be on 101. I'm sorry, 92.5 all the time. So your voices are familiar, and I want to congratulate you guys for getting your own show.
Well, thank you so much. We really appreciate that. What do you want to see? Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, one thing I want to say. Old Frank took Pete Prisco with him on Thursdays.
That's right.
And leave the college playoffs at 12.
Yeah,
16 and 24 is too much.
Yeah, I agree. Mac, we certainly appreciate it. Have a great weekend. Thank you for calling us.
Well, Mac is the voice of reason, but there's no chance that happens at 12. I like 16 as well. Make it 4 weekends, no buys. But I just can't get into. I can't have any interest in the opening weekend of a 2014 playoff.
Yeah, I agree. When we come back on the lead, Kai Stevens is going to join us. Looking forward to catching up with Kai. We'll talk Jaguars. Kai, of course, covers the Jags for Jaguars.com, does an outstanding job. And we've got an OTA Tuesday. It's going to be fun seeing the whole team out there. Kai Stevens next. You're listening to 1010XL 92.5 FM.
It's The Lead with Hayes, Ryan, and JJ from the Harrell and Harrell studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
All we hear is Radio Gaga. All we hear is
1010XL.
Memorial Day, friends, family, great food is what we look forward to all year. But when your septic system decides it wants to be part of the conversation, nobody wants that. Getting a pump out now is a smart move before things get, let's just say, uncomfortable. Duck Rooter, Northeast Florida's only master septic contractor. They've seen it all, and they get it right the first time. Right now, get $50 off septic tank pumping. Keep the memories, not the mess. When you're stuck, call the Duck. 904-862-6769 or duckduckrooter.com.
This is Richard Miller with your Showtime Sports Cards and Collectibles Update.
one of the more unique hockey sets recently released. It's for a 6th straight year, Skybox Metal Universe, and it has the unique chase of precious metal gems. 50 rookies are included in the Metal Universe checklist. It's showtime. Sports cards and collectibles. Update your collection.
Take time out with Patrick Young.
Patrick Young here, a.k.a. the Big PY. And you know I love my Florida Gators.
Friday morning at 8:30 with Dan Hicken and Jeff Prosser. Tipped off by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists and Kuhn Flowers on 1010XL.
Hey gang, Hicken here. Let's talk skin. It's May, which means the oven is on. It's also National Skin Cancer Awareness Month. Bottom line, take care of your skin. Protect it like your life depends on it because, well, it does. Use the sunscreen, wear the hat, put on the shirt. Keep yourself protected. To ensure your skin is in top-notch shape, you can always rely on my doc, the Beaches Dermatology. Been going to them for years. And my skin thanks me for it. Book your appointment today at beachesdermatology.com.
The flagship station of the Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Hey, it's Tony from Tony D's New York Pizza. If dinner seems expensive, come grab a pizza that's hot, fresh, and affordable. Feed the whole family without spending a ton. Tony D's New York Pizza. Easy, quick, and always a good call.
Hello, this is Father Nicholas Lowe, and I want to talk to you about not being afraid of the crosses of life. Life can be difficult. Maybe today you're carrying a cross of worry or stress. Let me encourage you to remember that when Christ got on the big cross at Golgotha, he destroyed all the little crosses that we face in our life. He set us free from fear, worry, and anxiety. Our job is not to be carried by the cross, but to be carried by our faith.
For more inspiration, log on to stjohnthedivine.com.
At the Y, there's no place like this place. More than just a gym, the YMCA is a community where support, connection, and your well-being come first. And now, getting started is easier than ever with Your Rate, an income-based, affordable membership designed to fit your lifestyle and your budget so you can focus on what really matters, feeling better, moving more, and connecting with others. Join today and discover a place where you truly belong. Learn more about Your Rate at fcymca.org.
Credit card interest rates are now over 29%. Most people are only making the minimum payments, so they're getting nowhere. Hey, Prosser here, but here's what many homeowners don't realize. Using the equity in your home, you can easily access hundreds of thousands in cash. With Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan, you can pay off your credit card, your existing HELOC, your car loans, or get money for that home improvement project. One client just got $100,000 approved and saved over $1,500 a month. Here's the best part. With Loan Pronto, you can do it all from your phone. With zero out-of-pocket, no hard credit pull up front, no appraisal, no long drawn-out bank process, and no touching your first mortgage. Rates are at a near 3-year low. Act now. Go to loanpronto.com. See how much you can get in about 60 seconds. Loan Pronto, 2,800 5-star Google reviews. Call 904-999-1508 or go to loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
This is the Southeast Orthopedic Specialist Local Sports Update. I'm RJ Saunders for 1010XL. This update brought to you by 5-Star Bath Solutions. The Jacksonville Jaguars have finalized their 2026 preseason schedule. The team has announced the Jaguars will kick off the preseason on the road at New Orleans before returning for a 2-game homestand at Everbank Stadium to host the Carolina Panthers and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Single game tickets for the 2026 season are now available for purchase by visiting jaguars.com/tickets. Right now, 87 degrees at 5 o'clock. Time and 10 brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch. Here's another call on the 1010XL hotline, driven by Key Buick GMC, home of the lifetime powertrain warranty.
Shine bright like a diamond. Shine bright like a diamond.
Welcome back to The Lead on 1010XL. Hayes Carline here with Ryan O'Halloran and JJ LaSelva. It's our pleasure to welcome in Kai Stevens of Jaguars.com. Kai, good afternoon. How you doing?
Hi, guys. I'm good. How are you?
Doing great. They didn't put you in the dunk tank this week, did they? Because that would upset us. We saw Jackson DeVille in there, but what's going on?
I want no part of that. Unfortunately, it's usually at like 6 in the morning, so I get to come in a little bit later because that makes all of that more funny. Like when they had the DJ out there at 6 a.m., ridiculous.
Well, judging by the success rate, you probably would have been pretty dry. Good thing
my
they
God,
play
it was
football
tough.
because they suck at the dunk tank.
I was like, isn't this supposed to be edited a little bit? You should have helped those guys out.
It must be interesting though, because you never know kind of what they've got in store for them from one day to the next. But anyway, as we get out there Tuesday, Kai, what's something that you're excited about seeing when we get out there to watch Tuesday's OTA workout?
Yeah, obviously this will be the longest practice we've seen. They've been doing off-season workouts, but it's mostly like glorified stretching. So getting them to kind of get into football-ish activity is nice to see. And then I'm excited to kind of look at the wide receiver group. Like for me, I felt like, Brian Thomas Jr. had kind of a down year compared to his rookie season. And a lot of that started early in like off-season workouts and training camp. It just didn't seem like he had the connection with Trevor and there was something a little bit off. So I'm excited to hopefully see that group be very successful from the get-go and have that carry out throughout the season.
Kai, I'll get this right this time. Thank you for joining us. That was a problem
Yes,
for me
thanks
last
for
week.
having me.
I'm glad you mentioned the receivers because one of the questions I get is who's going to be the number one guy? Not in terms of like crunch time, but who's going to finish most catches, most yards, most touchdowns. What at this rate, at this stage, what would be your answer to that?
So I think in my perspective, and Ryan, you and I weren't here then, but I feel like when Trevor was best was probably like that 2022 season when they made the playoff run there at the back end. And I feel like that's when he doesn't have one guy that he's forced to give the ball to, right? He operates well when he has options out there. And I think part of Brian Thomas Jr.'s success originally was because he was getting the ball a lot, especially that year when Trevor was hurt. Like he was just kind of the only guy, the only thing that was working that season. But I think what's cool about now is it opens him up to be more of the deep threat, and then you can utilize different parts of the offense. Parker Washington, of course, is Mr. Fill-in wherever you want to put him. Jacoby Myers came in halfway through the season and saw a ton of success and chemistry with Trevor. So I think this is the way it's built purposefully. Also, I think he really likes to throw to Brenton Strange. He just wasn't given the opportunity a ton because of, using Brenton more in the blocking game. But having the ability to spread the ball around is where Trevor is going to be the most successful, I think. And I think that's how they're trying to build it up so that he doesn't feel forced to go one way all the time.
I'm not sure how much we're going to be able to tell with it being non-contact, but boy, Kai, this seems like an important stretch for Strigow and Green with there being, the lack of a veteran depth piece there behind Hines Allen and Walker. No Agba, no Smoot. Big opportunity for these two young guys.
Absolutely. And we saw it last season, too. Like, it's not like they were playing poorly last season and those guys found their way onto the field because they were just trying to find something. Like, the team was playing well and they still gave those young guys opportunity, and undrafted guys at that. So I don't know what we'll see. Obviously, I don't think we'll see it like right now. It's more of a training camp when they finally put the pads on sort of thing. But we know Strigo had some injuries toward the end of last season. So just seeing, whether he's moving well laterally and kind of dealing okay with rehab from that, that'll be big. And then I think a lot of it is seeing how they work as a group. I mean, practices like these they're run however they're run, but seeing that the position groups are kind of all on the same page is always important, because sometimes you can tell when there's a lot of younger guys in a certain group when it's like not quite organized yet. But even rookie minicamp seems pretty well run from what I saw the other week. So I'm pretty hopeful they'll be similar in OTAs.
You make a good point there, because when we're out there that day, it's not like they were blowing the whistle because guys didn't know where to line up or false starts. So I think that was a positive that they took the coaching. I'm sure they gave him a crash course. But I ask you about they drafted 2 tight ends. Borkature is getting the attention. Koziel stands out because he's 8 feet tall. How do you think? What should we watch for him during these open practices?
I think just he's very fluid and he gives you a little bit more wide receiver, right? Like that's kind of his reputation as well. But I think Cohen's very excited to have those kinds of options, whether it's going to be Borkature, obviously is the person that they expect a lot out of, but using Brenton Strange in a different way. Koziel has that height, kind of go up and get it, which they haven't had really, right? They haven't had the wide receiver that was big and can go up and get it. So maybe you can utilize this guy a little bit like that, and then having that opportunity, because now it just adds so much more. We talk so much about how Liam Cohen and Grant Udinski like to be creative and they like to do different things, and having the ability to do that at a practice like this, it's more just. I was impressed in rookie minicamp. He's a massive human being, but also just like being able to go up and get the football, and it's not contact right now, but just fluidity, seeing that he can be out there and if it's running routes or whatever they're asking them to do, if they're able to do that.
Kai, I'm excited about the joint practices, and we haven't.
I know there's gonna be a lot of them.
Yeah, I'm really excited. What kind of benefit do you think that can give the Jaguars?
Yeah, so we heard from kind of the get-go, the preseason schedule was never finalized until recently. So, but Cohen was very adamant about he wanted as many joint practices as he could get. And I think what's cool about joint practices, at least from my point of view, you're going up against not your own team, so there's just always a different mentality to it. It's always just borderline more competitive. I know in Miami, they're getting after it. I think Quinn Allen's starting fights even that early on. But there's a different mentality to it. And then the way that a lot of coaches, Doug Peterson felt this way as well, if you can get quality reps in a joint practice, they feel that's almost better than preseason play to them because they can script it out so they can see exactly what they want to see out of these players and helps them make roster decisions at the end of the day. And they don't have to worry as much about them getting hurt in a preseason game, and they can kind of let some of the other guys play and not focus as much on the starters. So for them, seeing quality reps in practices like that is almost more beneficial to them in the preseason than the preseason games themselves.
Great stuff. Well, Kai, we certainly appreciate it. Let us know what's coming up on Jaguars.com.
Well, we'll be at practice. It's open for everybody on, I think we'll have Jags Am before practice on Tuesday, but then we'll have availability, obviously, with Coach, and I think Trevor Lawrence is talking, and whoever else we want to chat with, but we'll have that throughout the week as well. And, of course, Ozone Podcast and Happy Hour on Thursday.
Sounds great. Kai, have a wonderful weekend. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks, guys. Same to you.
Right, see you Tuesday.
Yeah.
Coordinators on the docket Tuesday, I believe.
Yeah, that'll be interesting to see. And like she said, Trevor Lawrence is going to talk. So, once we get beyond the idiocy of the haircut that didn't happen, it'll be interesting to, talk football with Trevor.
Over under on questions asked about that.
It'll be at least 3.
Would it be out of line for me to, before the press conference starts, people, you get 1.
Yeah.
Then we're moving on.
Right.
And if you ask a second time, you have to answer to me.
Very good. Oh my goodness, that should be fun on Tuesday afternoon. We'll certainly look forward to. We're going to be out there. The Frangie Show will be out there Tuesday. So,
I was going to ask her. I looked up her podcast that they do Monday morning, but it was all about the schedule, which we asked her about last week.
Yeah.
So I was going to try and promo one of her podcasts there, but we sort of did it ahead of time last week.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, fun catching up with Kai. We certainly enjoy having her on with us here on Fridays on The Lead. When we come back, well, I guess
maybe
the
possibly
prima donna is ready to do some radio now.
I wouldn't count on it.
Good Lord, Mark Long of the Associated Press, who couldn't be bothered at 4:15.
JJ. Take calls in case you can't get a hold of them.
We'll have a backup topic ready. Don't worry. But
one of our dads get ready to call in.
Yes, but exactly. But our belief is that Mark Long of the Associated Press will join us next. You're listening to The Lead on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
This is The Lead from the Harrell and Harrell studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
He's big on the NFL.
Are you serious?
He's big on the Jags.
It's huge for all of us.
He's just plain big.
He is a big one.
Mike Dempsey.
Oh, yes, sir. He's a very bad man indeed.
Jaguars Today, 10 to noon weekdays on 1010XL.
Frank Frangie here. Nimnicht Chevrolet is proud to be a 9-time Chevrolet Dealer of the Year recipient, the only dealership in Northeast Florida to ever win this prestigious award. Well, it's earned by treating customers with courtesy, respect, and fairness, all part of Nimnicht's Treating You Right guarantee. Now, look, I've been buying my cars from Nimnicht forever. That is a true story. I started in 1982 buying my cars from Billy Nimnicht Jr., God rest his soul. He taught me how to buy a car, and I've been doing it ever since. I trust my friends at Nimnicht. They care about the community. They care about their customers. They do it right. They've supported our charity, Walk Off Charity, so many times. I really do appreciate that. If you want to buy a car, you want to be treated right, not just when you buy the car, but after the sale as well. Well, that's what they do. They care about their customers, they care about this community, and they care about treating you right. So who has put in the most years and stands behind a better experience? That answer is simple. Nobody but Nimnick. Visit their showroom off Cassett or go to nimnickchevy.com. Chevrolet, together let's drive.
This is Hayes Carlion for Harrell and Harrell. You know, I don't just talk about Harrell and Harrell. My family has trusted them. Holt and I actually go way back. We went to school together. Over the years, I've recommended Harrell and Harrell to my own friends and family because I've seen firsthand how they treat their clients. It's what they call the Harrell Promise. You'll be treated like family, and they'll always work to make sure you take home more than they do. If you've been injured, call Harrell and Harrell at 251-1111.
Frank Frangie here from my friend and insurance agent, Craig Dewhurst. Craig has been helping families on the First Coast with their insurance needs for 25 years as your good neighbor and local State Farm agent. Now's a great time to review your insurance policies, whether you need auto, homeowners, or renter's insurance, or insurance for your golf cart, boat, or jet skis. Craig handles all of my family's insurance needs, and even better, he gives back to the community. Call Craig today at 904-940-9740. That's 904-940-9740.
Sent in, and Sporting Jacks breaks through first.
For the latest on Jacksonville's pro soccer teams, join the Sporting Jacks Coaches Show, presented by Honda of the Avenues, every Tuesday night at 6 on 1010 AM and 1010XL.com.
I'm Frank Frangie, and I can tell you, in this financial climate, or really any, it's never been more important to make your money work for you, which is why I'll recommend Mike McGuire and the Wealth Management Team at South State Bank. Financial planning is based on trust, because it's so important. You can trust the South State team. They offer the best combination of sophisticated wealth management strategies with a truly personal approach. That will help you meet your financial goals. Stop by your local South State branch and ask them to connect you with Mike McGuire and the Wealth Management Team. You'll be glad you did. South State Bank, member FDIC.
When you're hungry, go big, and more importantly, go to Dailies, where they got anything and everything to tantalize your taste buds and fill you up. At Dailies, our barbecue beef brisket sandwich is slow smoked to perfection, tender, juicy, and full of bold flavor. It's the kind of sandwich that truly satisfies. Try the barbecue brisket sandwich at Dailies. Meanwhile, some favorites never go out of style. The Duval sub at Dailies is stacked, loaded, and made with the bold flavor you want in every bite. Fresh ingredients, big taste. It's a local favorite. Grab the Duval sub today at Dailies. Or maybe you just want a delicious chicken sandwich. Some choices just work. The chicken sandwich at Dailies is crispy on the outside, it's juicy on the inside, and it is full of flavor. Perfect for lunch, perfect for dinner, perfect anytime hunger hits. So grab the chicken sandwich today at Dailies. Dailies is made fresh, it's made local, and Dailies is built for big appetites. I'll see you there today.
Hacker here for Cornerstone Interior Solutions. If your AC is working overtime every summer, your insulation may be the problem. Homeowners and builders across Northeast Florida are calling Cornerstone to upgrade to spray foam insulation. It seals homes, crawl spaces, garages, blocking in cool air and blocking out heat. So your home stays cooler, your system runs easier, and your energy bills stay under control. Don't wait for peak heat. Visit CornerstoneInteriorSolutions.com.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah. Here's another call on the 1010XL hotline, driven by Key Buick GMC, home of the lifetime powertrain warranty.
He covers the Jags, he covers the Gators. It's Fourth and Long with Mark Long of the Associated Press, now on the lead on 1010XL.
Well, Mark Long's already started with a delay of game penalty. So he's going to have to really bring it in this segment. Mark.
Hello, numero 2.
What's going on? Boy, that must have been some little 4:15 meeting going on.
Listen, I'm still hungover. I've been drinking all week. The second Chenyulu announced he's coming back, I started drinking. I haven't stopped. That's the way. What kind of year it's going to be for this Florida Gator basketball team.
Have you bought the scissors yet to present to Todd Golden and say, you're cutting down nets, you're going to need this?
Yeah, I started the statue. I went ahead. I was like, you know what? If somebody's got to build this thing. So I started. I got the big chunk of bronze sitting in my driveway. And I'm just going to start chiseling this thing out win after win by win. And I figure by the end of the season, I'll have this thing done. I'm just going to put it out in front of the O-Dome.
I love it.
Well, Out of all the things that went right this offseason, the Ruben thing was probably the most expected, that he would be back. But now that he is back, the group is whole, and they'll get the Aberdeen thing figured out. How has Todd Golden managed this non-league season when they have some tough games probably, but what does he want to accomplish with his second unit going into SEC play?
Tough games. This is the Boston Celtics. We talked about this last week. These guys, there's a possibility they don't lose, and they are the betting favorite in Vegas to win it all at 6-1, plus 600 for those who do it that way. This is unheard of. And I talked to somebody this week, Ryan. The roster is going to cost $25 million. You remember Todd joked about Kentucky and their $22 million roster last year that didn't get it done. Well, Florida's going to have a $25 million roster. Now, what I heard was this is a one-time deal. This is not sore escalating prices of college basketball. This is Florida and Todd Golden looking at this thing and going, listen, we got a chance to bring back – they brought back 11 guys from last year's team. 80% of their scoring they're going to bring back, plus add in Aberdeen, plus add in the freshmen, plus add in the 2 Euros. So they're looking at this thing and going, we owe it to Todd Golden and this team to spend whatever we got to spend if we got a chance to return Chinyelu, Houck, Condon, build around them, and make another run. So they do think that this roster, albeit at $25 million, will then come down in price next year and moving forward. I don't know if I quite believe that, but I understand the logic. But to your question, this is going to make last year's team had all of this, the huge target, right, on their back being national champs. I think this will dwarf that. I think this will really trump that in terms of $25 million. That number's out there. Everybody's going to be targeting. They got, 3 all-conference players coming back. The most dominant front court in school history will, running it back to try to run again. It is going to be something special, and I'm down for it, ready for it.
Florida Gators season tickets. Yes, Mark Long. I'll take 5, please.
He's going to have a front row seat for to watch watch a lot of them. Mark, in terms of the 2 Euros, you sort of told us before they signed that, hey, they expect to get these 2 Euros, and they've got big expectations for them, correct?
Well, for one of them for sure, and the reason is, well, both of them can shoot, and that's you look at this. This is Todd looking at his roster, going, where was the one weakness last year? Well, and he nowadays he'll defend the 3-point shooting, that they were really a pretty good 3-point shooting team in SEC play and down the stretch, and he's not wrong. They started getting the right people shooting the ball, and that was a little bit of a game changer. But what he did was, okay, the one perceived weakness, 3-point shooting, the one place where we can make all the difference is in 3-point shooting. And then he went out and got 2 fantastic 3-point shooters. So from the Euro range, and big kids who can basically stretch 4s, and that's really all they're gonna be able to do. I mean, I think they'll get in and do some things, but I think their primary goal here is going to be get on the floor, stretch the floor, and shoot the 3. It's Petrovic and Chavis, I guess, is how I'd say it. But yeah, both of them almost 40% 3-point shooting clips, and you throw those 2 guys in with Urban Klavzar. Boogie Flan hopefully gets his stuff together. Denzel Aberdeen, about a 36% 3-point shooter. All of a sudden, I don't know how you defend this front court if the Gators are able to shoot 3s.
Will you tell your dog Balky to settle down?
His name is Mercedes, and he just turned, and who, by the way, turned 42. Happy birthday, Mercedes.
How is he still
How
out there?
about that? Is Mercedes going to play football this year?
He is keeping an open mind, but he's not expecting the phone to ring. But if it does, he's all in for year 21.
Okay.
SEC football. What do you make of Orgeron coming back to LSU?
Yeah, odd, but I very odd to me. I don't know if that is Lane Kiffin trying to reach back and bring back a little bit of the past. I mean, we know Orgeron's a great recruiter. That's the one thing that he is known for, is unbelievable recruiting prowess. So you get him on that staff, you get him out there recruiting. I don't know. I don't see how it goes wrong. But, again, it would be, I guess it's the equivalent of Florida bringing in Urban on staff, I guess, to some degree. And I'd be all down for that. If you're John Summerall and and Lane Kiffin's the same way, these guys have no confidence issues. Neither one of them. They're good friends. They have no confidence issues. So you're not threatened by Ed Orgeron. And if you're John Summerall, you wouldn't be threatened by having Urban Meyer on staff. You're certainly not threatened by having him in the building, which he has routinely had him in the building already.
Mark Long of the Associated Press joining us. Mark, I wanted to ask you a quick Gators football question, and then certainly want to get to Jaguars with OTA on Tuesday. But so Florida in basketball is spending $25 million on the roster. Do you have an indication of what the football spend is and where they'd like that football spend to go?
Up, right? Up. 33 is the number I'm hearing. 33 million
For this team.
For this team this year one under John Summerall, 33 million. Now I know what is happening is that number is out in public. I think that number is being played down a little bit. And if you talk to people inside the building, they're like, well, that's the coach and the GM and everybody else, selling it low so that it, people would be more willing to give, because you see these rosters out there that are over 40 million, over 35 million, maybe even some at 45 million. Well, the Gators are in the ballpark. They may not be top of the food chain right now, but 33 million, given what this team has put on the field the last 4 years under Billy Napier, really the last 5 years to throw in Dan Mullen, having a roster, getting 33 million is commendable in my book for year one for John Summerall. Now then, you go 8-4 in year one or better, and all of a sudden the checkbooks are going to open up and the donations will come flying in. And I do think football hurts basketball a little bit. And again, I still look at basketball as a 1 year thing, but you're still asking the same people to donate. You're still reaching into the same NIL pools for people to sponsor kids, to put kids in commercials, all those things. Those same opportunities, you're kind of vying for that, and that's a good problem to have. There aren't a lot of programs in the country, Hayes, that have this kind of level of football and basketball. I would certainly think with Michigan is in there now, Texas for sure, Alabama, and Florida. I'm sure you can go down and find some more, but those are the big ones to me, where right now they're both looking at a combined, $75 million plus or $55 million plus rosters. It can only be a handful of those schools.
Well, and I think it's interesting that you think they'll pull back on the basketball funding, because unless Golden leaves, I don't know how you can do that without souring Golden on the school and the boosters. I mean, if he's now been given $25 million to build a team, but then is told next year, hey, you're going to have $12 million. I mean, I would think that Todd Golden would not receive that well.
Well, I think this year is Thomas Houck is $7 million. How many fourth year been in the program, big time players, first team all SECs are going to be out there on your roster commanding $7 million? I just don't know. I think that's where the number is going to shrink, because you're still going to be paying guys $2 and $3 million, and I think Condon's making maybe 3.5 as a number two highest paid. I don't know what Chenyulu's making yet, but when you're talking about paying, I think that's the norm. And then occasionally you're going to get that guy for $7 million, but I think he's a little bit of a unicorn, Thomas Houck, a guy who's been in the program, grown through the program, decided to come back despite the ability to go be a lottery pick. He would have made $4 million in year one in the NBA easily, maybe more. So you had to pay something commensurate with that. You know what I mean?
Switching gears, Mark, let's wrap it up with Kyle Busch. You wrote a story about him that published this morning. I would recommend it. Just Google Kyle Busch, Mark Long, and it'll pop up. Two-part about Kyle. How would you describe your interactions with him, and what do you think his legacy will be?
Yeah, it's great. Great question for sure. I mean, I was devastated with the news, and he was never a fan favorite, right? And that's kind of be his legacy, but he leaned into it late in his career. He really leaned into it, was welcomed the boos, kind of riled up the crowd before he would take this trademark bow, even amid all this chorus of boos. And he really thrived on it. It was different because I don't think you ever go and become the pinnacle of your sport thinking, I'm going to be a villain. He ended up in a villain role because of how much he won, the way he won, and how aggressive he was. This guy never shied away from being aggressive, never shied away from sharing how he felt, whether it be at the detriment of his competitors or his crew or, even, the people paying the bills. I mean, this guy was out there and you knew how he felt. And when it's not going well, everybody felt that and not everybody liked it. So, but his legacy is going to be this guy won every time he was given comparable equipment. And he didn't have comparable equipment the last couple of years at Richard Childress Racing. But when he was he was a young guy, Hendrick Motorsports was still competitive. They let him go there to bring in Dale Earnhardt Jr. And then he was unbelievably competitive with Joe Gibbs Racing. And they let him go there really because he lost M&M's as a sponsor and because Joe Gibbs was bringing in his grandson, Ty Gibbs. So, combination of things. Rarely do you see a talent like him be a free agent twice, and he was. And but really, what I will remember about him is embracing the villain role and winning in every series that mattered, in every event that mattered. I mean, the guy won everything except the Daytona 500, and his first title coming back after two broken legs is just nothing but epic. They'll write stories about that, or we have, but that's the kind of movie type stuff, what he did in 2000, I think it was 2015.
Great stuff. Mark, well, I want to get your thoughts on the Jaguars before we wrap up. Tuesday, we've got the OTA out there. What'll be a couple of things that you're looking forward to seeing?
Yeah, number one, you got to look at, what is Travis Hunter? What is he able to do? And then you also look at, in that secondary, what does the safety, the Caleb Ransall, rookie last year, third round draft pick? Yes, third round draft pick, but didn't play at all. What is he able to do? I don't know that those guys will do a lot, but you just want to see, what do they look like on the grass? And then the other guy, two other positions, is where they lost their big time players, running back and weak side linebacker. What is Vinjar Miller ready to step in? Is Branson Combs really the real deal? Is he going to look the part in there mixed in? And then the other one is running back. Obviously, you lose Travis Etienne, and you go out and you get you sign Chris Rodriguez. Yeah, and you draft Bashil Tootin, who struggled a little bit down the stretch last year. But what do those two guys look like? Are they ready to take on that role, to be a little bit more, be the guy? Because they didn't do a lot in free agency. This team is counting on guys from last year. They're counting on the Caleb Ransalls. They're counting on the Bashil Tootins. They're counting on those guys to really take this next leap and carry this team back, take this team to another step after last year's amazing 13-4 season.
Mark, great stuff. We certainly appreciate it. Have a wonderful Memorial Day weekend, and we'll look forward to seeing you Tuesday.
You guys too. Take care.
All righty. Mark Long of the Associated Press. Always enjoy his insights. When we come back on the lead, let's get it back to your column about Nate Borkature. Again, wonderful stuff that Ryan wrote on Jacksonville.com about the Jaguars' young tight end. We'll do that next. You're listening to The Lead on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
The Lead from the Harrell and Harrell studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
Why do you like them so much?
Because they stand on a wall. And they say nothing's gonna hurt you tonight. Not on my watch.
This is America. Proud to live in America. 1010XL.
Looking for your locally raised beef for your family? Houston's Meat Company proudly carries North Florida cattle raised right here in our community. From fresh ground beef to hand-cut steaks and roasts, every cut is USDA choice or higher. Locally raised from birth to harvest with no added hormones or antibiotics. It's quality you can taste and local sourcing you can feel good about. For more than 50 years, Jacksonville's families have trusted Houston's Meat Company for quality meats at great prices. Houston's Meat Company, Main Street at 295.
Hicken here experienced crystal clear vision with the Eye Associates, formerly Bowden Eye Associates, Schneider Eye and Wellness Center, and Janet Betchkel, MD, Jacksonville's leader in advanced eye care. From routine eye exams to specialized vision care, their experienced team dedicated to improving and preserving your vision. The same care you've come to trust, now with a new name. To schedule your appointment today, call the Eye Associates, formerly Bowden Eye Associates, Schneider Eye and Wellness Center, and Janet A. Betchkel, MD, at 296-0098.
Some plumbing companies say they're local, right up until you realize their headquarters are in New York City. At Holland Sons Plumbing, we're actually from here. Born, raised, and fixing leaks right here in Jacksonville. Holland Sons Plumbing. Local. Family. Real.
This is Mark Nato. My son Justin injured his hand playing baseball for JU. Southeast orthopedic specialist performed surgery just a few days later, and within 5 weeks, he was cleared to play in the ASUN baseball tournament. Our family has trusted Southeast orthopedic specialists for years. For any orthopedic injury, let Southeast orthopedic specialists take care of you too.
Relieve pain and get back to life. SOS. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Hi, Frank Frangie here, inviting you to join my wife and me June 22nd of 2027 as we experience the food, wine, and culture of iconic Italy with Colette. Our journey takes us to historic cities and enchanting medieval towns. We'll enjoy a wonderful 7-night stay in the Montecatini Term A famous resort and spa town nestled in the heart of the rolling hills of Tuscany. Visit the cultural treasures of Florence, Pisa, and lovely Lucca. Along the way, we'll discover the food, wine, and old world charm, and even have a special chef-led cooking class. This and so much more. Colette handles the details, flights, hotels, meals, and the local experiences. Your only job is to have the time of your life. Don't miss joining my wife and me in Italy. Now, to learn more, visit 1010XL.com or call Colette at 800-581-8942.
Come away with me.
That's 1010XL.com or call Colette at 800-581-8942.
For lost or broken keys or nearly any make and model of vehicle, call 722-1111 for
Instant Keys. Instant Keys. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you.
Hey, gang, Prosser here for my friends Chad and Sandy. What are your concerns? What struggles do you anticipate when it comes time to sell your home? What is it that bothers you? What's keeping you from getting max money as quickly as possible? Well, I don't know what those reasons are because I know they're all silly. Because Chad and Sandy have one down-to-the-line guarantee. Your home sold guaranteed, or they will buy it. It'll be at a price and a rate that you agree upon beforehand. So if you need to sell now, fast, easy, stress-free, and you need max price, then you need Chad and Sandy. The government's making moves intended to push mortgage rates lower. The last time rates dropped, we saw a selling and buying frenzy. Now's the time to prepare. It's time to call Chad and Sandy. Darcy in San Jose did. I wanted to move to a more walkable, vibrant area. Within 3 days of working with Chad and Sandy's team, I found the perfect home. They do it stress-free with a guarantee. Go to chadandsandy.com or call 414-6200. That's chadandsandy.com.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch. Now, the Monahan's golden moment. Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach, your local family jewelers.
The golden moment today on the lead is Ryan talking about his excellent column on Jaguars rookie tight end Nate Borkature. Really enjoyed it. Again, for people that haven't read it, you can go to jacksonville.com. Ryan tweeted it out. Take us through his journey. We talked about some of the pieces of the column that we certainly thought were enlightening. But just take us through, for people that aren't familiar, exactly what his journey was.
Yeah, and he grew up in the middle of Nebraska, average graduating class 100. They played in the third level of high school football there. invited to be a walk-on at Nebraska, got on scholarship a couple years later, and played with his brother. It was also a walk-on at Nebraska, 2 years older than him.
Nate's the youngest of four?
Youngest of four, separated by 7 years total. From Nebraska to Texas A&M. And I think I end the story is that when they play the Browns in week 1 and the family comes down, that'd be the first NFL games they've ever been to.
It's amazing.
So, I mean, in Nebraska, that's the deal. The closest team is Kansas City. So it's so the journey, it's not adversity. It's just, that's what happens.
He needed a chance.
Yeah, guys fall through the cracks. And, his high school coach said he was a late bloomer, had a knee injury as a junior in high school. That probably, didn't help his cause. But he basically told his parents, he goes, I'm walking on Nebraska or I'm not playing football at all. So when Nebraska extended that invite, his dad says that was a bigger moment than when he called us to say he was on scholarship. So that was an interesting road for sure.
There's a great nugget in there that Borkacher catches the go-ahead touchdown for Nebraska in their game against North Dakota, and no one talked to him after the game about it. So like there literally was, in this day and age, imagine in 2026, a kid gets selected in the second round of the NFL draft, and there's literally no material to go back and read at all about his journey.
I look in the box score. Okay, how many yards was it? I say, okay, walk on at Nebraska kid, first touchdown. They got to be able to bring him in, talk to him. Nothing the next day. Flag on the play, bad beat writing.
Yeah, without a doubt. As you talk to these coaches, obviously, his family, obviously they're going to say how excited they are for him and everything. I understand that, although I did think they had some really good insights about the stuff that he's, gone through. But you talk to several coaches. Obviously, you've talked to several Jaguar coaches and in front office since they selected him. But when you do a story like this, where you've got 17 pages of quotes from all the subjects you talk to, do you get more of a gut feeling on how you think he'll be here?
Yeah, you do. You have to couch it because they love the guy. And, when I asked the Texas A&M tight ends coach, Christian Ellsworth, who's now at Kansas State as a quarterback coach, how do you think they'll be used? He said his best football is ahead of him. He goes, people always say that, but, look at the journey. And then now he's going to an offensive-minded coach who knows how to use his players. So I my gut was after talking to these coaches that he's sort of a unpolished gem as a receiver. And he made a couple catches last year, Texas A&M, Notre Dame, winning catch. I mean, this coach said that changed his life. I mean, that was a 4th down play on the road. His dad said right in front of touchdown Jesus. He had a play against Florida where he just ran over a Florida player.
Florida player?
It's like
a Florida player got run over.
And I wanted to say, well, he was one of 82 guys who did that last year, but and he caught a touchdown against South Carolina during that big comeback. So that was the takeaway. A little bit through Pollyanna glasses, but it's okay. He's not just going to be a blocker. He's capable of running those routes.
Well, when they selected him, and again, I had no idea who he was. So when when Posluszny says Nate Borkacher, I mean, honestly, it was like, what? Yeah. And then so you start diving in and the immediacy of it. And obviously the first things that you're seeing, from like Dane Brugler and such is blocker. So I'm anticipating this guy being basically like Chris Manhertz. A guy that like can play 9 years in the NFL and catch 10 passes. But it really does seem like, from the coaches that you talk to, not anybody on the Jaguars about this specific, but coaches that have worked with Nate in the past, that he does have a suddenness and an ability to separate that really has not been on full display yet.
Yeah, and two things about that is I had heard of him because I had a little bit of something on the tight ends, but also he was on Pete Prisco's Better Than team. So me and Frank asked him about Koziel and Borkacher. They took both of them.
Yeah.
But I texted an NFL assistant who I very trust a lot, who writes up tight ends. He came back. He goes, my second-rated guy.
Wow.
And I was like, okay, that got my attention. And then he sent me the 4-page scouting report, which I'll write about in the summer probably. And, and said, hey, this guy is pretty fluid, very physical. So, I mean, let's not get some grandiose idea he's going to be 60 catches, but he's going to acquit himself well if he can ask him to catch 25 to 30.
That's what's really interesting is they've got a guy in Brenton Strange that I think's getting ready to have an unbelievable career here. So it really is interesting. And again, not that you can't have, two really good tight ends, particularly with Borkercher being on a relatively inexpensive contract for the next 4 years. We'll see with Brenton if they get a deal done this summer. But it's interesting because Borkercher getting drafted has sort of taken away one of the storylines, and I think we'll continue to do so because we're going to be very wrapped up in Nate Borkercher when the pads go on in training camp, certainly in the joint practices. Like, how does he look? That's going to be a massive storyline. Meanwhile, you've got Brenton Strange, who now the spotlight isn't on at all, and he may be getting ready to have an unbelievable season for the Jaguars.
And I think he was on that way until he injured his hip against Kansas City. I mean, you look at that first game of the season, Liam Cohen's script, he had like 4 catches on the first drive. I mean, he was going to be a focal point. But then, then he didn't come back too early, but he wasn't happy with the way he played down the stretch when he came back from that injury. And I asked Liam Cohen that late in the year. He said, no, that's a guy being hard on himself because he's caught a lot of passes in that Arizona game. So I think what this addition does is it really frees up Liam Cohen to have Brenton Strange as a joker. This week he can be lined up in the slot more. The other week, line him up in the backfield. Did that a couple times. So, coaches want options with their personnel, and I think that's what Liam's got right now.
Do you think Brenton Strange can do all those things?
Yes, I can. He did a couple of those things last year. He had one play against Denver where it was him and Tootin in the backfield, and they basically ran opposite routes. The same route, but opposite side of the field. Broncos didn't know it was coming. I mean, he caught an explosive play down the right sideline. Same thing in the Jet game. So I think he definitely is capable. He's got to stay healthy, but I do think that he should be a priority to have a contract extension.
Yeah, great stuff. Again, read Ryan's column on Nate Borkercher if you haven't already at Jacksonville.com. It is excellent, wonderful reporting. When we come back, we're going to hand it off to Rick Ballou, and we'll start to peek ahead to tonight's Game 3, Spurs Thunder. It should be a lot of fun. You're listening to The Lead on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
You're listening to The Lead from the Harrell and Harrell studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
Live streaming from the XL Digital Studios. Brightened by Harbor Dental Care, Jacksonville's first choice for dental emergencies.
This is Brent Musburger's Visa in Action update on 1010XL. Brought to you by Duck Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic, and Air Conditioning. When you're stuck, call the Duck. Proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Cubs look to end a 5-game losing streak this afternoon where they host the Astros at Wrigley Field. Cubs are now their 43 favorite. The Guardians have won 6 straight and 9 of 10. They're in first place in the AL Central. $1.53 dog in Philly today against Christopher Sanchez, 5-2, a 1.82 earned run average. Philly's $1.86 favorite. VGK won game 1 of the West Finals 4-2. $1.60 dog at Ball Arena against the Avalanche today. The Avs minus 192 moneyline favorites. The Spurs laying 2.5 at home with the Thunder in Game 3 of the Western Conference Finals of the NBA playoffs. That's at the Frostbank Center with a total of 216.5. Progressive helping veterans drive their lives forward. More info, keysofprogress.com.
I'm Tony Desiri with your Visa in Action update on 1010XL.
Imagine this. You've got the burgers ready in a backyard full of guests. And folks, that's a strong lineup. But a clogged drain on a holiday, that can change everything in a hurry. Before kickoff, make sure your plumbing is ready to go. Call Duck Duck Rooter. They've got experience, honest pricing, and a team you can count on. And right now, get your main sewer line cleaned, plus a camera inspection for just $129. Outside cleanout is required because the only thing you want overflowing this weekend is that cooler. So when you're stuck, call the Duck. 904-862-6769 or duckduckrooter.com.
When it comes to glass, you don't want average. You want flawless. Duval Glass and Mirror has transformed homes and businesses across Jacksonville for over 35 years. Frameless showers that wow. Mirrors cut exactly to your style. Fogged or broken glass replaced. Decorative tabletops. Windows replaced or repaired to stand up to Florida storms. All backed by a 100% guarantee. Visit DuvalGlass.com for your free quote. There's only one name for glass and mirror around these parts. It's Duval!
Northeast Florida isn't just where we work, it's our home. I'm Chris Campione, and when an accident turns your life upside down, you need a law firm that truly understands this community. At Campione Law, we treat our clients like neighbors, not case numbers, and you don't pay a dime unless we recover for you. From semi-truck accidents to medical malpractice and even workers' compensation, we handle it all. Visit CampioneLaw.com. Offices, Jacksonville and St. Augustine.
Campione Law.
Hey, poker players, let's ride to the riches. Best Bet St. Augustine is giving away a brand new all-terrain side-by-side vehicle and cash prizes during the Ride to the Riches promotion. From May 1st through August 7th, every hour of poker and table games played at Best Bet St. Augustine earns you a chance to win over $40,000 in cash and prizes, including a top-of-the-line side-by-side all-terrain vehicle. Visit BestBetJax.com for details. That's BestBetJax.com, and we'll see you in St. Augustine.
What team is the biggest underdog to win the World Cup? The answer next.
When your homeowner's insurance policy is up for renewal, it's a good idea to shop around to find a better plan. Southern Oak Insurance for over 20 years provides Floridians a clear option. SouthernOak.com.
Our family protecting yours. Southern Oak Insurance.
Of the 48 teams competing, Haiti, Jordan, Uzbekistan, and Curacao are the biggest underdogs in the World Cup.
Southern Oak Insurance. Our family protecting yours.
College football isn't just a season, it's a sisterhood. Bold Ladies is the women's membership group of the TaxSlayer Gator Bowl, where community, connection, and college football come together. This is Stacy from 1010XL, and I enjoy my membership. From exclusive events to networking, philanthropy, and unforgettable game day experiences, Bold Ladies is where women make an impact. Visit TaxSlayerGatorBowl.com and join today.
T-Mobile has an exclusive bundle for customers 55 and up.
I'm Sarah Bowl.
Yeah, I'm Frank Bowl.
A reliable network is key for us. And with T-Mobile, it's been wonderful. And going to the 55 plus plan saved us so much money.
A lot.
And that's important. Trying to keep costs down. The home internet's been perfect. It's fast, it's quick. The setup was so easy, it took less than 15 minutes.
It was like, ta-da! If you want simplicity, coverage, reliability, you want the whole package, T-Mobile has it. Right now, T-Mobile customers 55 and up can get 2 phone lines on America's best network, plus America's fastest 5G home internet for just $30 each.
$30 per month each line with autopay plus taxes and fees. Minimum age 55. Pricing for home internet rely on 2 lines of Essentials Choice 55. $35 connection charge per line required. Best mobile network and fastest 5G home internet based on analysis by Oak Cliff Speed Test Intelligence Data 2H 2025. All rights reserved.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch.
Welcome back to the lead on 1010XL 92.5 FM. Ryan O'Halloran here, JJ LaSelva here. I am Hayes Carline. We'll bring in Rick Ballou in a couple of minutes. But boy, we're keeping an eye on Siwoo Kim, Ryan, who is 11 under today at the Byron Nelson through 15. If he pars out, he will shoot 60.
Yeah, he's got 11 birdies, no bogeys. And, you know, if he can pull this off, this would definitely dwarf his players win, wouldn't it, Gary?
An all-time great champion. By the way, every impression I do is the same one, so that's not how he sounds at all. But
damn you, Ryan O'Halloran.
Yeah. But yes, former Players Champion Siwoo Kim,
youngest Players Champ of all time.
Yeah, that one came out of nowhere.
What year was it?
Yeah,
long
2017.
I was gonna say, yeah, it's been a while now.
Oh, it's here.
Yeah, it's been a while now, but and Scheffler's playing really well too, so it should be quite a shootout. Scheffler, I think, is what is Scheffler today? 8 under for the day,
And he's the
I think.
defending champ.
That's right.
Last year with a score of 31 under.
Wow. Well, he's at 13 now, and he's T2, and then Siwoo is at 18 under. So unbelievable. We'll keep you updated
If
on.
he shoots a 58, he's going to be at Gillies tonight on the Mechanical Bull celebrating this, and
As
he's
he
going to
should
shoot
be.
73 tomorrow.
Yeah, probably. But we'll see. He's had a really strong year. So,
oh yeah, Siwoo
yeah, he's been
actually
very
is one of
consistent.
the more interesting guys on tour. I saw an interview with him recently where he's like, if it's not for 6 figures, I don't give a damn. He's like, in some of these tournaments, if I'm not way up there, I'm phoning it in,
That's
which I can
hilarious.
really appreciate.
Yeah. Scotty's on the tee here at 16, 13 under. But game 3 tonight, Thunder Spurs. JJ, lead us off. What do you think happens tonight?
First off, I think I just saw that game 2 had 10 million plus viewers, which is really good for the NBA. And I knew Wemby would sort of become a household name, so it's good to see that happening. I like the Spurs tonight. I think that they're going to call it a lot closer to the refs than they did in game 2. So I'm going to go with Spurs at home to win.
Yeah, I will too. And as much as I like, I'll go on a tangent here. As much as I like Mike Tirico on the call, they got to wipe out everybody else. I mean,
there's too many people.
Too many. Like the sideline reporters are terrible. Reggie Miller stands up during the game, and it's like, I think Legler's great on ESPN, but
Very good.
Tirico's sort of having to cover that broadcast because he also thinks he's the color guy. But I like Spurs.
And we were talking about this. Like, I'm fine with Reggie Miller, but I don't think you then need Jamal Crawford. Like, you don't need 3 guys.
It's
when
already
they're
too
both
fast.
former players. Like, if one of them was a former coach, then it might make sense if you had like former player, former coach, and the play-by-play guy. But to have Tirico with 2 former players, particularly when one of the former 2 is good, but I wouldn't say was like,
you don't need him.
Right. So anyway, but it'll be interesting to see. Let's do this now.
Now, the 2-minute drill is driven by nobody but Nimnicht. Nimnicht Chevrolet on Cassett Avenue and Nimnicht Buick GMC on Phillips Highway.
Rick Ballou joining us now into the night with Rick Ballou up next. Are you enjoying watching Wemby at all, Rick? Or will you be locked into Game 3 tonight?
No,
Okay.
I will not. I will have it on, but I am all about the hockey.
Yeah.
We've had 4 straight road winners now in the National Hockey League playoffs. From Saturday on, it's just been phenomenal. And I think it's the best playoffs, period, out of anything. And, I mean, I can't believe what Montreal did last night. For crying out loud. I mean, Carolina allowed 10 goals in 8 games. They went 4-0, 4-0, had 11 days off. 10 goals in 8 games. Montreal put up 4 in the first period after grinding out an overtime win in Game 7 once again on the road. It's insane.
Yeah, no Cale Makar again tonight for
I know.
Colorado. I think this is a key game for the Avalanche because I don't see Vegas losing 4 times in 5 games if they take a 2-0 lead in this series.
Yeah, I hated that they fired Bruce Cassidy, the former Jacksonville Lizard Kings coach, who's had success and not necessarily in D.C., but certainly Boston and Vegas, and then they let him go. But they brought in the very colorful John Tortorella, who if he's yours, you love him. If he's not yours, you can't wait to go against him. He's very similar to an Earl Weaver, Sparky Anderson, Tommy Lasorda, and that mold of great Major League Baseball umpires. He's just so explosive behind the bench, but I'm loving the hockey. So, yeah, I'll keep an eye on the NBA, but the volume tonight is with Sean McDonough.
All right. Yeah.
All right, there you go.
Yeah, best in the business.
Yeah. So I'll do the split screen until maybe 5 minutes into the basketball game and say, I don't care. I'll go hockey.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were talking about that yesterday. I mean, listen, I love Nance, but Sean McDonough and Mike Tirico, you just name the sport and throw them out there, and they can do it, and they are A+.
Yeah, without a doubt. What's coming up tonight?
We got a lot tonight. We're going to have a lot of fun here on this getaway Friday night, and I got a couple of Jags things. Actually going to mix in quite a bit of college football. Been kind of laying off it as of late, but I got a few things I want to dive into here, so going to have a lot of fun over the next 2 hours.
Fantastic. We'll be listening.
All right,
Thank
guys,
you, Rick.
have a great weekend.
All right,
Thanks.
you too. What's coming up on Jacksonville.com?
Notes column tomorrow will be led with Kyle Busch. Also, some research about a 3-game road trip, which the Jaguars will have this year. The NFL says it's not an inequity. The history says it is. So that's a little bit of that stuff. And then we'll be at OTAs on Tuesday.
Yeah, and again, the Nate Borkircher
Thanks
column.
for plugging that.
Yeah, wonderful job. Go read that if you're a Jaguars fan. You will become an expert on Nate Borkircher. It's wonderful reporting by Ryan. That's going to do it for us. Hope you enjoyed the lead for Ryan, for JJ. I am Hayes Carline. Into the Night with Rick Ballou is up next. You're listening to 1010XL 92.5 FM.
It's The Lead with Hayes, Ryan, and JJ from the Harrell and Harrell studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
If real life were sports, radio would be like 1010XL.
I like this kind of party.
Because sports are more fun than real life.
Yeah!